I reported for normal duty that day that would have commenced at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would have relieved the night watch in the base radio in Hangar 37 at Fort Island. And two or three other fellows and I was standing outside of the Hangar 37 just talking before we had to report on watch. And that was maybe 20 minutes or 25 minutes to 8. We always reported early so we wouldn't be late for our watch.
Right.
And all of a sudden these planes are coming whistling over our head, and we look up and one of us said, "Hey, what's that orange ball on the side of the plane?" And then another one said, "I think that's a Japanese aircraft." Then booming and banging, and here we begin to see smoke, and we realized then someone else came around and said the Japanese are attacking us, and that began the whole thing.
I see.
So then I, of course, dashed into the base radio to report for watch, taking over from the night crew, and the radio supervisor, the chief on watch, said he wanted to keep his operators that were on watch during the night on watch because they were established with the other stations that they had to communicate with, and he was didn't want to shuffle and retuning and all that kind of stuff of the equipment. And so I was ordered to go see what I could do, was the way it was put to me. And so I went from my base radio position at the hangar, and I saw some people coming in wounded and in shock from the ships, and they were wandering around by our control tower, which was still under construction. And they were, most of them were in shock, and what I did, and my buddies that were outside with me then, we directed the people in the main floor of the control tower, and the tiling on for the floor was not laid yet, and we had to lay them on the bare concrete floor. And we put them in the control tower because it was all concrete, and we felt it would help protect them from bombing or strafing instead of wandering around the outside of the building and down the road and all that stuff. And we tried wiping fuel oil off of them because they had swum from the wrecks or whatever onto the beach. And we couldn't do much in that way because that stuck to the skin too much. And somehow some Navy corpsmen showed up, the medical units, and they took over from us. Then I reported back to the base radio and the chief and said, you know, do you have something else? And he says, you're scheduled to go fly in the morning of December 8th on a patrol looking for the Japanese fleet. So get some sleep, and you're scheduled to take off at 3 in the morning. So I did get a nap, but laying on the hangar floor on actually a tow target. And then there was a pilot and I, and the mechanic who took care of this aircraft. The four was a total crew, and it was in this very aircraft that's behind me that we flew that day. And I flew several times in this very aircraft during that week looking for the Japanese fleet.